Hey, Leo, Intuitive Soul Coach here. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. I'm Mel, an intuitive reader, and I'm grateful that you found me today. So let's dive in here and take a peek at what is unfolding for you this month, Leo. You have the best card in the deck. You have Treasure Island. This is a beautiful time of positivity, abundance, sunshine, joy, and magic. And it is well earned and well deserved because many of you have been working really hard to get to a point in your life where not only have you created a sense of inner peace and inner alignment, you've been working on connecting with energies that match and mirror what it is that you want in your life. So if there is a mismatch, you're learning from it, you're growing, you're advocating for yourself and saying, how can this experience teach me? How can this experience help me grow and evolve? Yeah, you've gone through a hermiting period of your life. You have the Hermit and the Star right off the bat. Bottom of the deck, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a rekindling of your heart. I see here childhood dreams are showing up in your world. And oftentimes we focus on childhood conditioning, right? We talk about the past, the earliest memories that we have of our relationship patterns are how we move through our lives. And I see that you have done a lot of work. You've taken accountability to reprogram those old stories, to really dive in and connect to your body more, doing the somatic healing, doing perhaps breath work, meditation, connecting with the body through movement, and really listening and paying attention to your intuitive voice. Some of you are journaling, you're painting, you're creating. I see that you are living and leading a balanced life for yourself, Leo, and for those around you. But I also see that there's something that is bringing in a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. And for many of you, this is going to be family, right? It's going to be family, or it's going to be where you feel a connection with community. I see that you could be moving to a new location, or you may have family coming to visit you. It could also feel secure within your professional world where you feel like you're making a difference. You're being seen, you're being heard, you're being valued. And the fact that you have Paradise and Treasure Island, are some of you going to Aruba or Bora Bora? Are you going to an island? I see that you could be traveling or visiting a place that is very sacred, very serene, very magical. So many of you are planning for an upcoming trip, maybe even a honeymoon, or you could be spending time with those that you love at a destination that feels very magical. But I also see here that you have these hopes for the future. You have these dreams for the future, and it feels like this hope is surging through you, where it feels like you are excited about something. So whether that is a wedding, whether that is a new job offer, whether it is travel, it could be the birth of a grandchild, it could be anything in your life that, we tend to get excited for because it's these moments that lead up to it. It's not just about the destination in itself, but it's about the excitement factor that plays into it, the magic around it. And I see that many of you have gone through a period where you've sat in this hermit energy. Some of you have felt isolated or you felt lonely, but you are connecting with others. You're not meant to take this path here, this earthly path, alone. So if you have been single or if you have felt isolated on your journey, I see people surrounding you, both in the spiritual realm, your guides, your ancestors, your loved ones, your angels, but I also see that you have support either around you in the physical or showing up for you in the near future. And this could become your chosen family. This could become lifelong companions, partners, best friends. I see here that you are a guide for many. Many people look up to you, Leo. You are here to perhaps help others evolve or transcend on their journey because you have experience in this category, right? You have gone through a lot of personal transformations yourself. And I see that many look up to you as a mentor or as a coach or a healer, whether this is connected to your personal world or your professional world. I see that you are someone who is very trustworthy and you give off this energy of warmth. You give off this energy of trust and you have this authenticity about you where you're radiating positivity and joy, right? Because this is the energy that you are attracting because you are radiating it, because positivity is going to attract more abundance. And I see that you are excited to celebrate here some sort of win or celebrate here some joy. And some of you may even find pleasure in music. This could be singing, it could be playing a musical instrument. Some of you, it could be connecting to singing bowls, or it could be tuning forks. It could be bells. I see that you are really connecting to frequencies. Now you have the star showing up. When the star shows up, this is brighter days ahead. And this is about you leaning into your true North Star. And I see that many of you had started to lose faith or lose hope in a dream of yours, but this is a new sense of inspiration that is bubbling through. And you're starting to see perhaps physical evidence of a brighter future. Again, because internally you are creating the tools to listen to your body and to work through that mind that is always calculating, right? And the emotions that are always reacting. And I see that you are someone who is very spiritually attuned to those around you, meaning you have some strong gifts of empathy, of being able to pick up on other people's energies. Many of you are light workers and you're feeling the heaviness of the world. But I also see that you are equipping yourself with the tools, the shields, the boundaries to be able to not take on the weight of the world or other people's stuff. So you can be a good, strong, solid support, not just for others, but for yourself. And I see here for some of you, you've been breaking some generational traumas, or you've been shifting gears, meaning it feels like you've come to this life to live a better version of yourself. Some of you may have even left a country to live a better life, but it almost feels like you are telling yourself, I deserve to tap into this flow of abundance, because that's the truth, right? That is the truth. We are all connected. We are all a part of this divine spark, and that flow of abundance is available to each and every one of us. But sometimes as we navigate through life, we disconnect from that flow and we let ourselves hang on to scarcity or poverty consciousness, or the thought of, not feeling worthy or not feeling lovable, or we're too much, all of those things. This is not the energy of February, and you actually have the crown chakra coming up, and it says bliss. It says bliss. So Treasure Island, we have paradise and we have bliss. Is someone getting married, or someone is definitely bringing happiness and joy into their world? I mean, this is powerful, Leo. This is about you enjoying other people's company. It's about you enjoying what you love. This is perhaps, again, a childhood dream or something that you have been wanting to do for quite some time. It could even be something on your bucket list. Maybe it's a travel destination, a place that you've always wanted to visit. You're making your wish come true. That's what I see here. You're making a wish of yours come true. Now, the Three of Cups coming through is a very celebratory energy. And you see that they are dancing right there on the beach. And some of you are going to be doing the happy dance real soon because there's a blessing, an opportunity lining up for you, an offer for many of you. If this is your career, which we actually have the offering coming through for your career portion of your reading, it feels like you will be doing the happy dance. And some of you may even work remotely or work from home, or you are taking a creative idea that you've had for quite some time, or this could be connected to your business and you are sharing it with others. And it feels like the energy that's radiating from something that you are creating, Leo, something you are bringing to others is so powerful. It's so needed. It's so helpful, but also it's so inspiring. And it feels like this is connected to legacy. It ripples out for many, many, it feels like years into perhaps decades for some of you, and it touches the lives of many. And it feels like your work is needed. But I also see that many of you are connecting here with siblings, or you're connecting with friends whom you haven't seen for quite some time. And you could also bring in new connections. And these connections feel very strong, like I've known you before, right? Because you have, perhaps in past lives. So there are spiritual bonds and connections coming through with that Three of Cups. This is a sense of togetherness. And oftentimes the hermit goes through a period of a bit of isolation or feeling disconnected at times from others, because this can be a bit of a lonely path. Right? It reminds me of the song, Here I Go Again on My Own, Whitesnake. But I see that you are meant to not forego it alone. You are meant to align with community. So this could be a big month of marketing, a big month of connecting, family, friends, social gatherings, social invitations, meeting new people out in the world, right? Putting yourself out there, travel, spending time connecting with new cultures, new foods, new people that, again, they feel very inspiring, but also they could become lifelong. As I mentioned, lifelong companions, or it could even be that some of you may have bounced around a lot in your earlier years, or you felt like you weren't able to make friends very easily, or it just feels like maybe even an adopted energy. Some of you may have been adopted. This could be a month where you reconnect with, it could be a relative of yours. If you are on one of those websites like Ancestry, because I do see the Knight of Swords, the swords can connect to the World Wide Web or technology. There could be a message that comes through from someone unexpected, but it's a joyful message. And you have here the Knight of Swords, which is an action taker. You are going for it and you're all in. And you may connect to legal documentations or sign some contractual agreements. This could be the sale of a home. It could be a new rental agreement. It could be a new job offer. Many of you are putting your work out there online. Maybe you have classes, courses, workshops that you are taking or that you are, teaching. I see that there's no stopping you. Once you set your mind to something, the mind is so incredibly powerful. And if you are saying, I am saying yes to life, I am embracing happiness, I see you booking the ticket, or I see you scheduling this in the calendar. It's like there's no stopping you, even if it doesn't happen immediately, because there could be a small waiting period here for many of you, but it feels like it's finally in the books, like it's happening. Like you have a date lined up, or you have, some sort of offer that's secured, but now that it's that waiting period for some of you. For others of you, it may go straight to you've been in the waiting period, and this is the month where the magic really happens. Now, you have the Eight of Swords connected here. Now, the Eight of Swords can sometimes be the mind obsessing about certain situations or how everything is going to unfold. But Spirit is saying, don't sweat the small things, right? Don't sweat the small things, because everything Every little thing is going to be all right. And I see that the big things are starting to fall into place here. So try not to let those little distractions pull you away from the joy that is showing up here. Now, we have a brilliant mind for a reason, and I see that some of you are being guided to maybe delegate, ask for help if you need to, or get things down on paper with that Knight of Swords. So that way you can cross off your to-do list, or you feel like you are seeing progress. I am a huge list maker. I love to write things down because then I can feel more organized, and then I can cross off. And so some of you making a list or journaling or just writing could be very cathartic, very healing, very beneficial for you. But I see with this Eight of Swords, try not to get caught up in your head about certain situations here. So the biggest thing is breaking loose some of the old conditionings or old patterns that tend to bring us into a default mode based on our earlier conditioning. And I see, again, because you've done so much healing and work on your own self, you're going to recognize this pattern. And I feel like you will kind of nip it in the bud before it turns into something full-fledged, okay? So I'm not worried about the Eight of Cups, but I want to mention it because sometimes we tend to spiral, but because you have that Knight of Swords here, I feel like you are getting back on track and you're saying, okay, nothing's stopping me here. I am unstoppable. So with that mindset, you're moving straight into the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is beautiful because it means that you are creating joy and happiness and celebration within your home environment. There is peace. You are gathering with like-minded individuals. You are celebrating some sort of a win. This can certainly be connected to marriage for some of you, but it can also be connected to a family member that is celebrating a win, and you are very joyful for this family member as well because you are part of this soul tribe. You are part of this connection, but it will benefit you in some way. I see here with the Four of Wands, many of you have felt like something has been one-sided and you've had to go through that healing experience, right? The dark night of the soul for some of you with that Hermit. You had to take some time to go within and spend some time either being single or really contemplating your next moves, or asking yourself, what do I need to do for me? Right? What do I need to do for me? That's also going to benefit those around me. But I feel like you had to go within and do some fine tuning of your own frequencies, right? And this is showing up as very harmonic. I'm getting a lot of music here in your energy. So again, someone could play music or be connected to singing. I'm getting the voice here. You have the crown chakra. So you're also receiving divine downloads. And these divine downloads could also be coming through from loved ones who've crossed over. So keep that in mind. But I also see that you're unlocking a part of your spiritual gifts that sometimes we second guess or we tend to doubt. So don't be surprised if you start having one of your clairs, maybe clairaudience, so you're hearing things, or clairvoyance, or you are really tuning in and you have mediumship abilities. Many of you are channelers and you are inspired by what's coming through, and that is going to have you feeling like you're on cloud nine. So go with that flow, go with that energy, enjoy this high that's coming through here for you. Now, when it comes to your career, you have the offer. You have an offer coming in. The universe will meet all of your needs. Call upon your spirit guides and angels to assist you. And we see that they are here. The Three of Cups is often our soul tribe, our angels and our guides, as I've mentioned. And I see here that there is an offer. And at first, it may not be this ginormous offer. Some of you are thinking, okay, is this something that I have the potential to really grow into? But remember that change adds up. And how interesting, because we have the coins that are being put into the piggy bank here. And the word change is interchangeable. So it's not just the change of the coins, but change in itself. And it's the small action steps that we take daily that add up to the biggest transformation and the biggest changes over time. And for those of you who have ever saved your coins and you go to turn in that piggy bank jar at the end or when it gets full, right? And you're like, wow, I had a lot more in there than I thought. I feel like that's what's happening here, where it feels like someone doesn't want to have too high of expectations because you may not want to be let down. But at the same time, there's room for growth and there's room to kind of explore as you go and to allow yourself to build that anticipation or build that energy. You don't have to fully go into it with that, high vibration, but I do see that you are going to continue to trust. You're going to continue to feel that sense of stability, and that in itself is going to be a game changer. So whatever offer is coming through, this is an offer that you deserve, that you've been working towards, and you will be celebrating here, either a promotion, a raise. Many of you are going to celebrate moving direction here. So this is happy. This is a lot of joy, a lot of happiness surrounding your financial world. There could even be some sort of settlement or some sort of refund that comes in that may even be more than expected, but it feels like your expectations aren't there or aren't super high. So that way when it does come in, you are a bit surprised. Now, you have the Crown. The Crown tells me that this is a time, Leo, where you are overcoming obstacles. Some of you have gone through a little bit of a power dynamic, a power play, either between you and someone around you or between you and yourself. There may have been a bit of a power struggle of you owning your power, because sometimes we doubt, we second guess our own worth, or we tend to feel stuck in environments or situations, and we tend to spiral, right? Because the mind is always calculating, coming up with ways to try to protect us and ways to try to get us out of different scenarios. But I see here that you are taking ownership and you are really stepping up to the plate here. Accountability is paying off. Your hard work and persistence and resiliency is paying off. Many of you are leaning into entrepreneurship or leaning into roles that are maybe a bit more responsible. Some of you could be taking on more responsibility, but I feel like there's equal compensation in return if that is a direction that you are wanting. I don't see that you want to take on more responsibility without getting that compensation, right? But many of you are seeing progress made and you're taking charge here. You are saying, I know my worth and I'm going for it. So you may even be taking additional classes to enhance your skill set, or you're taking that business and putting it out there online, or you could be connecting with a boss or connecting with people around you and saying, hey, I will take on this title and role, but I deserve to be recompensed for it. So you're using your voice and you are receiving really good information as well. And it just feels like you are adjusting your crown, because you deserve to sit at the throne here, right? You deserve to sit at the throne. And so there are offers coming in. Now, when it comes to love, I mean, this is a very beautiful month for love, whether you are in a relationship, whether you're looking for love. Now, February connects to the 2 energy, and in tarot, 2 is about partnerships. 2 is about connection. It is about coming together. And of course, we have Valentine's Day as well, but I do see here you are leaning into a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. So there could be a new energy, someone that you are connected to, and this could feel like a bit of a honeymoon stage for some of you where you enjoy each other's company. It doesn't even have to be romantic. It could be a trusted loved one or a friend that you are spending time with, that you are gathering with and maybe going on a trip with or doing something fun. I see some of you getting out of a bit of a comfort zone, and it may surprise you that you really enjoy going out and dancing, or you really enjoy doing the sip and paint that is at your local paint shop, right? Or you are really enjoying doing something that either you haven't done for quite some time, with that Six of Cups, or spending time with someone who maybe you haven't gotten a lot of good quality time with the Six of Cups. So this is just a really beautiful energy for love. And if you are in a relationship, I see that some of you have been focusing on life, right? Maybe taking care of the kids if you have them, or focusing on your career. And sometimes we tend to get into a rut or get into a habit of focusing on the things we need to focus on, talking about, everyday responsibilities, where the hermit shows up and we tend to feel like we're leading an individual life instead of coming together. This could be a month where you and your spouse, or you and your partner, take a little bit of time for the both of you to maybe go out to eat, or to go do something fun that you enjoy, or to go travel together, or connect with family. So it feels like you are shifting the dynamic here, and there's some really beautiful laughs coming in. I see a lot of laughter. I see smiles. I hear music. I feel like there's a lot of beautiful abundance coming through, which you actually have the abundance card in your love sector. So many of you, if you're not focused on love or relationships or family dynamics, I just see a lot of success here around your professional world. This is about having a positive mindset, which we talked about earlier, because positivity is attractive, and you are attracting more abundance by staying optimistic and staying positive. It doesn't mean that you are avoiding or numbing or pushing things under the rug that need to be addressed or looked at. But I see, again, with the Eight of Swords here, if it's something small, you're not letting it get the best of you. I feel like you're tackling it, you're delegating it, but you're not spending time reeling in it, allowing the mind to go down the rabbit hole and focus heavily on that. You're saying, I have a brighter life to lead, and that's what I want to focus on. I'm hearing the name Gerald or Gerard or J-E-R could be, or excuse me, G-E-R or J-E-R, it could be J, is in someone's name, or it could be in someone's first name, last name. It could be the name of a city as well. Take that as it resonates. Now you have gratitude and bliss, which you have the word bliss showing up twice in your reading. So you may even see an overlap, Leo, where you're noticing things are overlapping, where abundance attracts more abundance. And you're like, wow, I didn't think it could get any better, but here it is getting better, because what you focus on grows. And if you are focused on the blessings and the bliss and the opportunities, you're going to see that it continues in that frequency. I also see that this could be a month where someone does something really kind for you, or you do something kind for someone else, and it shows up almost instantaneously. So within like 48 hours, a kind deed is done. So maybe someone pays for your coffee ahead of you, or it could be that you receive a really big compliment, or you receive a tip if you're able to receive tips in your industry, or it could be a tip, an educational tip that helps you out in some way. I also see that regarding business, some of you are really leaning into some good business incentives or some tax write-offs here as well. But when it comes to love, I feel like there could also be a connection that some of you may have with someone in your industry, someone that you work with, or it could be someone who has a similar background, or they could be from a different department, but they know about what it is that you do, or they have certain skills that you have as well. Even if you're not directly in the same vicinity, it does feel like there could be a love collaboration that's happening here. Now, some of you could work with a spouse as well, or you may work with a sibling or a family member. This could be a family-based business. Or someone could follow in the footsteps of a family member. If mom was a nurse, perhaps you have become a nurse. Or if you are a business owner and dad was a business owner, it just feels like there is like a following in someone's footsteps. Or you could have a child that follows in your footsteps. But I see a lot of beautiful blessings, and I also see that someone could be celebrating marriage or the news of a child, whether it is you, but it feels like it's going to closely impact you. So you could hear news that someone is going to give birth, and you could be a grandparent, or you could hear news that someone very close to you is getting married, and they may even ask you to be a part of that gathering. Okay, and there could be like a baby shower, or there could be a wedding bridal party or something of that nature coming through that you're a part of or that you're planning, or it's for you. All right, beautiful days ahead. Now we have here the seventh chakra, which connects to our crown chakra, and it says bliss. I seek and find peace, quietness, and moments of bliss in my life. I am persistent in this quest. The Knight of Swords. Yes, you are persistent here with this. And that's what I was picking up on, because you know that this is your birthright, Leo. I allow myself to feel divine presence radiating within and around me. I allow myself to create abundance and fulfillment and to live a life free of fear. Now I'm going to kind of play with that energy for a moment, because I feel like fear is very essential in our lives. We all have fear in this human earthly plane, because fear can be beneficial at times, right? It helps us from not walking into the road, or not, doing things that could harm us or jeopardize us. But it's when fear sits in the driver's seat that we freeze, we fight or flight, right? And I feel like fear, you're saying, get in the back seat, fear. You're not in control of my life. So basically it can be fearless, or fearful, full of fear, where you don't move forward. And so I'm going to challenge this just a tiny bit here. So it feels like you are recognizing fear in your life, but it's not an active presence. And maybe that's what this is reminding you. So I allow myself to create abundance and fulfillment and to live a life free of fear. So we're going to say fearless here. Okay. Meditation is part of my life. Many of you are guided to meditate more or connect with the crown chakra, listening to guided meditations. I'm also getting psychology here could come into play. So some of you could even be talking to a therapist. This could be behavioral therapy, EMDR. This could be you connecting with somatic practices and tools. Learning about these things for yourself or for others could be a big part of this. But I see that some of you have this very, how do I put this, hypnotic voice. Okay, you may have a hypnotic voice, Leo, where people are almost mesmerized by your voice, but it's not that you're charming, or, well, you are charming, but it's not that you're charming someone to behave in a way that goes against their morals or integrity, but it feels like you are very charming. You are someone who is very beautiful inside and out. You are someone who is very alluring. And I see that if you are guided to speak or use your throat chakra to communicate with others, it almost feels like there's this trance-like state that you help people. So if you are guided to dive into hypnosis, or if you are guided to share your voice in some way, then take this as a message. Go for it. Okay, go for it. Now, lastly, the archetype playing out for you this month, you have the unseen. So I'm going to find this in the guidebook, Leo. One moment. All right, Leo, the unseen. This is the spirit, the ancestor, the eternal. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, we sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence. Though it rallies our attention time and time again, the energy of the unseen may come in many forms. A compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision or message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between the worlds is ajar. Listen. The sounds may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. When this shows up as the light aspect, which it certainly is, treasure island, bliss, we have the crown chakra, the light illuminating. This is clairvoyance. It is clairvoyant guidance, whispers of wisdom. When it's showing up as the dark, it can be dark looming energy or an unwillingness to forgive. I don't feel like that's the case here. I feel like it's that you have been working on forgiveness. You've been working on those outdated beliefs or conditioning that you've learned early on in your life. And now it's like you are seeing the unseen. You are trusting in the unknown. And this is what I meant earlier with you really tapping into your spiritual wisdom. That is the crown chakra energy. You are being graced by the unseen. It is a gift. Treat it kindly. Allow yourself to be seen by eternal eyes. Wow. You are truly being seen. You are truly embodying here the light. Guidance comes in many forms. Don't expect it to be glittery or comfortable at times, right? Because the spirit world speaks the truth, and sometimes it soothes and sometimes it burns. Now, I feel like you felt the burn, right? You felt the burn at times. It reminds me of exercise. I know that's probably not the best comparison, but we exercise, and if we haven't for a while, for example, I just started going to a yoga center, and I'm not a yogi by any means. I've never had a regular yoga practice, but I was intuitively guided to join this yoga center near my home, and there are certain parts of my body that I haven't used, and so of course there's a bit of a burn, but there's this release. There's this part of somatic connection that I am recalibrating within my body. And so there's this part that I am seeing after not being able to kind of see or feel or connect to that space within my body. And I feel like that's what's happening for many of you, whether it's health or it could be a relationship or whether it's a career move. I see that you are starting to kind of blend in that energy of worlds. And it says here, if you want to go further into this energy, check out King Hamlet, The Three Fates, or The Shining. Okay, remember that movie, The Shining? I haven't seen that in forever. So Leo, that is what I have for you beautiful souls out there. Trust in the unseen. There are offers coming through. You are connecting with your guides, your loved ones, your ancestors. Remember what I said early on. You're not meant to take this next step or this next leg of your journey by yourself. You are supported, you are seen, you are acknowledged, and you are stepping into, I would say, one of the best eras of your life. And it feels like it's already initiating. Even if you can't quite see it, I know you're feeling it. Leo, that is what I have for you, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And if you are interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.